Let's separate ourselves and become that dynasty that this organization is building.
We're trying to make this thing something that people will never forget.
Whenever we step on that field, you will know stagnation.
It's about continuing to build a legacy on and off the field.
They're going to give them an opportunity to work in there. They're going to help teach them while we're trying to teach them at the same time. How about those Chiefs?
It's been an unusual week in the Chiefs Kingdom, for sure, with the folks in the Tampa Bay Buccaneer family and the entire National Football League. This game will be played, one of the biggest on the NFL grid all year long, Chiefs against the Buccaneers in Tampa, Florida. First of all, our hearts go out to all of the folks in the Tampa-St. Pete area, the whole Gulf Coast region, in the Caribbean in dealing with this hurricane. But the game will be played, and we'll get you ready. We'll go under the helmet with Carlos Dunlap. He's been so big for the Chiefs on the defensive line the last couple of weeks especially. Clyde Edwards-Helaire finds the end zone again, and we've got him wired up. On Kingdom Conversations, Matt McMullen will join me. We'll go over the logistical challenges of this week and take a further dive into this Chiefs-Buccaneers matchup. On a special feature, Pro Football Hall of Fame tight end Tony Gonzalez. So many great years in Kansas City and really defined the position to what it is today. But first, let's go back to Central Indiana. The Chiefs' narrow loss to the Colts with this Chiefs Game Day recap.
Make no mistake about it, Mitch, you know as well as I do, this is a dangerous environment.
Yeah, no team has ever started 0-2-1 and made the playoffs. So it tells you their playoff season's probably today.
Energy! Create your own energy today! We fly around, we make plays, we dominate! That's what we do! Let's go out there and dominate! Let's get it! Chase on 3, 1, 2, 3!
Snap to Ryan, right at his number 2. Here comes the blitz. Quick throw is incomplete. And the Colts are 3 and out. They're going to be in the shotgun. Play action fake. Here comes a blitz, and he's sacked, and the ball's free. It's recovered by the Colts, but the Chiefs will take over on downs. Inside of a minute to go, first quarter. Mahomes will throw first down and fires near side. Caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. They fake the draw. Now Ryan moving to his left, being pursued. Hit. The ball is out and fumbled and still loose. Now picked out by Snead. L'Jarius Snead's got it at the 21-yard line of the Colts. They give it off right side. Edwards-Helaire waits, hesitates, gets into the end zone, left shoulder first. Touchdown. Play action fake by Mahomes. Holding it, turns to his left. Still holding it, now moves back to his right, fires late. They're going to say he's got it for 2 points. Retreating is Ryan under pressure. He'll be sacked and loses yardage all the way back at the 22-yard line. Retreating against a blitz. Bolton's got him and sacks him to a loss of 11 yards on a Nick Bolton sack. And at their own 38, leading 17-13, 52 seconds left in the third. It's a double pass here as Mahomes holding it and firing it late. And he's got Noah Gray at the 50, at the 45, and up the sideline and out of bounds. The Chiefs throw a double pass. Ryan to throw, pressured, crossing pattern. It is caught on a diving catch at the 30-yard line and a first down for the Colts. The whistle stops play here. Are the Chiefs going to challenge this? So the Chiefs win the challenge. You still got to defend 4th down. Ranson in motion. They give it off, and diving is Taylor, and he's shot back. I don't think he got it. The desperate dug-in Colts are going to get a big play from Stephon Gilmore on a tip pass, and the Chiefs are going to lose for the first time this season, 20-17 to the Indianapolis Colts, where the Chiefs have had a bunch of games like this here against this team. Coming up, one of the key additions to this Chiefs defense, Carlos Dunlap, is under the helmet, and a special feature on Pro Football Hall of Fame tight end Tony Gonzalez. Chiefs Insider is brought to you by Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. And your Midwest Ford dealers, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's closing in on 100 career sacks. He might get it in this game. He also is the active leader in passes defensed among defensive linemen in the entire National Football League. Carlos Dunlap, a big impact so far for the Chiefs Kingdom, and he's this week's Under the Helmet. Connor on the right side. Two running backs out there at the same time. Dana trying to rush from the outside. Murray backing up. Ball starts again, and Dunlap gets him. Carlos Dunlap says, hello, I'm now a Chief.
It's a first for me. This is the first time that I was fortunate enough to be in a position where I could choose a team. I wanted to pick a team that was the right fit and that I could contribute to what they were already doing well to help get over that hump and chase after these final goals that I have for myself personally. Never won a playoff game, never been to a Super Bowl clearly, and getting over 100+ sacks.
Carlos Dunlap, his second sack of the season, gets the strip, and L'Jarius Sneed scoops it up. Big play for the defense.
And, we just got 98 yesterday, so obviously, lost my dad this year, and the goal was for him to witness it. So getting it early in this first quarter of the season is very important to me. Ultimately, career-wise, 100 is not enough to put me in, the elite category. I need probably like 108 to be in the top 50 all time. So at minimal, those are things that I want to accomplish, and not going to take no for an answer.
We're talking about a guy last year who had 8.5 sacks. Carlos Dunlap is in the fold. I have eliminated all my complaints as of now for the Kansas City Chiefs. Today's a great day.
It's been a perfect blend. We got a really good blend of young players, older players, so it blends together and complements each other very well. The consistency that they've had over the years, having a combination of an elite quarterback and an elite coach who's won so successfully through their careers, and they're still haven't even peaked yet. So having the opportunity to feel needed and being able to know that I can contribute, I just love and relish the opportunity to go do what I love with a team like this. I haven't had too many opportunities like that in my career. Even though I've been on some great teams, I have not been on a team that has accomplished everything that they have together as a young group. I only got Brady one time on my resume, so I like to get a couple more of those on him. You gotta look out for Brady. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He's going to find a way to win. He's a very smart football player. He's going to know your weaknesses. He's going to try to exploit them. If you allow him to finish with the ball, more times than not, those situations don't favor the other team, but defensively, we're starting to come together and putting a lot of really good pieces. Got young players getting experience and showing production. So, guys are relishing in their opportunities, they're seizing their moments. So I think like I said, we got a good blend of young and vets. We let one slip away, but I think guys are going to take accountability in that and use that to catapult us into what we've got going on next week and for weeks to come.
Make no mistake about it, Mitch, you know as well as I do, this is not a game to overlook.
Yeah, no team has ever started 0-2-1 and made the playoffs. So it tells you their playoff season's probably today.
Just like that, I was away from my partner. Yeah, pull it up on y'all.
Let's do it. Big B's, yes sir.
The Chiefs won the toss and have deferred at the top.
They're coming after Ryan. Unloaded. He had no time to throw as Justin Reed came in from the secondary. Comes a fade pattern right side. Kelsey over the shoulder. 10 inside the 5 and down to the Colt 2-yard line. Inside of a minute to go, first quarter. Mahomes will throw first down and fires near side. Caught. Touchdown. They fake the draw. Now Ryan moving to his left, being pursued. Hit. The ball is out and fumbled and still loose.
Well, getting away from the loose.
Got to get to the end zone. Now an angle route. Caught inside the 5. Edwards-Helaire down to the 1-yard line. They give it off right side. Edwards-Helaire waits, hesitates, gets into the end zone. Left shoulder first. Touchdown, Kansas City. Run it screen near side. 2 good blocks. Edwards-Helaire at the 45-yard line at midfield, and then is shoved out of bounds and pulled down. With toss. Edwards-Helaire. Give him another 9.
You're good. Y'all know what it is. Let's make it happen. Let's take it home.
3 timeouts left for the Chiefs, but they have 2nd and 10 at their own 30. Somewhere they got to get a chunk play. Mahomes retreating at the far hash. Now moving left, slings it over. Valdez Scantling at the 50 to the 45-yard line. The Chiefs will immediately call timeout at 7 seconds to go in the game. Mahomes changing the call. 7 seconds to go in the game. Pump faking. Pass is broken up and now intercepted. Intercepted off a deflection, and the Colts are going to win this game. Well, the Chiefs have had a bunch of games like this here against this team. Final score, Colts 20, Chiefs 17.
Sunday marks the 6th overall clash between Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, and the 4th meeting in the regular season. Mahomes won 2 of the 3 regular season matchups in that time, but Brady came out on top in both playoff meetings. Regardless, it's always a great game when these two take the field, and Sunday's matchup likely won't be any different. This season has been a bit of a struggle for Brady and the Buccaneers offense, however, as they've gotten off to a slow start. In fact, the Bucs are averaging just 17 points per game this year. They've gone 3 and out on 25% of their possessions. They have the fewest red zone drives in the NFL with 5, and they're converting 3rd downs at just a 28% clip. Injuries along the offensive line and at the skill positions explain some of those struggles, and while this hasn't been the Buccaneers offense that most expected, Tom Brady is still Tom Brady. The man is always dangerous whenever he has the ball in his hands, despite the slow start offensively, and we saw as much last week when he nearly led the Bucs to overtime late in the game. One area the Buccaneers have emphasized lately is their running game, but with mixed results. Tailback Leonard Fournette rushed for 127 yards in Week 1, but since then, he's handled 36 carries, the 4th most of any player, and rushed for only 100 yards, averaging less than 3 yards per carry. The Bucs' inability to run the ball has played a role in those offensive struggles of late, and if the Chiefs can turn in a performance against the run similar to what we saw last week, where they held Jonathan Taylor to under 4 yards per carry, they'll be in good shape. And speaking of the Chiefs' defense, this revamped group continued its strong start to the season last week. Kansas City racked up 5 sacks and 10 quarterback hits against the Colts, surrendering only 259 total yards. That was the Chiefs' fewest yards allowed since Week 8 of the 2020 season. It wasn't enough to overcome some uncharacteristic mistakes in the other phases on Sunday, but generally, that kind of performance will lead to a lot of success. The Buccaneers defense is also off to a great start, as they're currently the #1 scoring defense in the NFL. They've forced the most turnovers in the league with 8. They have the 3rd most sacks with 11, and perhaps most impressively, they've recorded the fewest missed tackles in the NFL with only 13. The Bucs have playmakers at every level of their defense and don't yield much ground. So the Chiefs offense will need to be at its best on Sunday. Finally, keep in mind that no AFC team has been better against the NFC over the last decade than Kansas City. Since 2013, the Chiefs have won 27 games against NFC opponents, the most of any AFC team. And since 2018, in the Patrick Mahomes era, the Chiefs are 15-3 against the NFC. That's the best record of any AFC team against the NFC, and those 15 wins are more than even one NFC squad has against their own conference. This is a battle between 2 teams with Super Bowl aspirations, and they're both coming off a loss. Each team has a bad taste in their mouth heading into this one, but the good news for the Chiefs is that Patrick Mahomes is 10-3 following a loss in his career. He'll look to make it 11-3 on Sunday as the Chiefs aim to get back on track.
Coming up, an NFL legend, a Chiefs legend, Pro Football Hall of Fame tight end Tony Gonzalez.
Well, if the NFL is the ultimate reality show,
Some more reality this week. Mitch Holtis again joined here by Matt McMullen, senior team reporter, on this edition of Kingdom Conversations, which is very unique. Been an unusual week. Very sensitive to the folks that were in the path of this hurricane, but they've gone ahead, decided to play this game in Tampa. So it's the Chiefs against the Buccaneers, but we do not want to be callous, and we are sensitive to what the folks are who have faced this hurricane and what they're dealing with, not just in the Florida region, the entire Gulf Coast and the folks in the Caribbean.
Yeah, you and I are so locked in on football all the time, and so much of the country is, but this is one of those situations that reminds us that there's things that are bigger than football, and this hurricane and the people that it's affected are much bigger than football, obviously. So we're thinking of everyone affected by this hurricane, and we'll talk about the game here in a moment, but for everyone that's been affected, we're thinking of you.
Yeah, and it brought back memories of 2005 when the Chiefs were told on a Thursday that you're going to go play in Miami on a Friday. We went down the day of the game and played and beat the Dolphins and came back. That was all the way back in 2005 with Hurricane Wilma. So there will be a football game played. It's the Chiefs and Buccaneers, one of the biggest games on the entire grid for the 17-week season involving 32 teams. It's Tom Brady, it's Patrick Mahomes, and it's a rematch of Super Bowl 55. It's two teams that lost in week 3 that want to not lose in week 4. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff here in addition to the logistical challenge and the weather situation.
Absolutely, and Tom Brady being the greatest quarterback of all time in terms of accolades, Patrick Mahomes is a talent that we think can be in that conversation one day, and it's really exciting because with Tom Brady playing now in his 23rd season as a professional, he's been playing for decades now. Patrick Mahomes was a little kid when Tom Brady's career first started. We're so fortunate that we get to see these matchups head to head, because think about people talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. They never played one another. Well, we get this with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes once again, and hopefully it's a win for Patrick Mahomes.
Yep, and this one, when you look at the Buccaneers and what they've done offensively, they've only scored 44 points. Remember, they have a pick 6 from Mike Edwards, so they have a defensive touchdown. They just have had trouble scoring and struggling on the offensive line. Keep in mind, center Ryan Jensen was lost for the season in training camp. Ali Marpet was a surprised retirement for them. He was just 29 years old. They lost Alex Kappa also in the offseason. They've had the suspension of Mike Evans. They've had injuries with Godwin. But this is still an offense that the numbers are way under what they've done defensively. So this is a game the Chiefs can win, just maybe not the recipe that you're thinking.
The Bucs have consistently been in long third down situations, and they've struggled to convert those. So for the Chiefs, their run defense was very good last week against perhaps the best running back in the NFL, and Jonathan Taylor. They held him under 4 yards per carry. He didn't crack 100 yards in that game. Need a similar output here from the Chiefs in this one. Slow down Leonard Fournette, make them one-dimensional, force Tom Brady to beat you, and if you can get that pass rush cooking again, like it was against the Colts, good things will happen.
Yeah, prayers up again for the folks, not only of Florida, but the entire Gulf Coast, the people in the Caribbean, and what they've had to deal with. We don't want to be callous to that, but it has affected this game. It's the Chiefs against the Buccaneers in unusual circumstances.
Kansas City Chiefs have selected Tony Gonzalez.
Gonzalez dives for the catch of the touchdown. Kansas City. He's got Gonzalez, sheds a tackler now. 2, he's got a first down. Tony Gonzalez with a great catch and run over the middle. He's able to find somebody down the field, got the ball to Tony Gonzalez.
The year was 1997, and with the 13th overall selection in the NFL draft that spring, the Kansas City Chiefs took a multi-sport star from the University of California in the hopes that he could develop into a formidable tight end for years to come. Unbeknownst to the Chiefs, however, was that Tony Gonzalez would go on to become the greatest tight end of all time. A former basketball player, Gonzalez used his height and size to box out defenders for the next 17 years.
Boy, how big is Tony Gonzalez?
Catching the most passes and recording the most receiving yards for any tight end in NFL history. In fact, only the legendary Jerry Rice and Larry Fitzgerald, both wide receivers, recorded more career receptions than Gonzalez.
And that is caught by Gonzalez.
The man also caught 111 career touchdowns, the 8th most of all time, and celebrated each with his signature move that paid homage to his basketball days, a dunk through the goalpost. He was a 10-time All-Pro and a 14-time Pro Bowler.
routinely earning the respect of his peers from around the league while also redefining the position as we know it. His success gave way to a revolution of athletic, playmaking tight ends that we now see across the NFL today, fundamentally reshaping the sport. The Chiefs' all-time leader in catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns, Gonzalez was enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2019. He's also a member of the Hall of Fame's All-Decade Team for the 2000s, recognizing a truly remarkable career that is celebrated every Sunday within the Chiefs' Hall of Honor.
Chiefs Insider is brought to you by Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. And your Midwest Ford dealers, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs. Thanks for joining us on this week's show. Again, the Chiefs and Buccaneers have had to deal with a lot this week, but it's still a big game on the schedule with two of the big powers and a great quarterback matchup with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Next week, the Chiefs finally get to come back home to GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Monday Night Football against the Raiders. And you know that means Raiders Week right here on Hy-Vee Chiefs Insider.